Have you ever wanted to grow your YouTube and you don't know what to do, or you think maybe it's just impossibly hard? Well, today we have on the show Ruan Marinho, who grew his subscribers to 80,000. That's right, 80,000 on YouTube in 12 months. And I'm psyched to have him on because, for those of you who have been watching me for a while, I have posted, maybe 65 videos by now. And I love all of you. Thank you for being there. I have 80 faithful, loyal subscribers, and I so appreciate it. And it's something that I don't spend a ton of time on YouTube, and it's something that I think is a really incredible, valuable platform. And I know that a lot of you out there as business builders are wanting to figure out strategies to grow your following on YouTube. So I was psyched when I ran into Ruan through actually his YouTube video on Facebook ads, because I'm starting to look into Facebook ads to launch a new online course that I've told all of you about that will be coming out on November 1st for business builders. And I found his video and I was like, oh, I love the way this guy teaches. And I reached out to him on LinkedIn. And here he is on the show. So he's a digital marketing and SEO specialist. He helps people increase their brand awareness of their services and products. He's the founder of DeveloMark, and it's a small digital marketing agency. And I'm just psyched to have this conversation with him today on the Max Potential Habits podcast, where I bring you tips, tools, and inspirational interviews every week to help you thrive and optimize your habits in your business so you can be as wildly successful as you want to be. So welcome on the show today, everyone.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Dr. Amanda. I am thrilled to be on this podcast. And I'm very excited to share my strategies on YouTube and growing a channel from literally 0 to 80,000 in probably one of the most profitable niches that you can get, which is digital marketing. So it wasn't very difficult for me to do. It was actually by accident. So thank you for having me. I'm super excited to explain some of the strategies that I use every single day to help my clients and my business using YouTube.
Awesome. I love this. Okay, first, before we go there, tell me, what's your background? How the heck did you get into digital marketing?
Yeah, so right around the 2016 mark, I was working at a job at Comcast as a sales rep.
Okay.
And I was walking into businesses and I was like the person that everyone hated to see. And I thought about myself, I was like, I'm selling something that's been around for so long. I need to offer value in the marketplace to where when I go into a business, they don't want to kick me out. They want to say, Ruan, thank God you're here. We need more sales. We need more traffic. We need more customers. And I wanted to become that person, because I knew that if I can provide value in the marketplace, I'd wake up loving what I do every single day. And at Comcast, although the pay was really good, I just couldn't deal with the boring product, the boring systems, and just feeling like a number. So eventually I just quit and I started investing into a lot of programs that taught search engine optimization, Facebook advertising. And I eventually just didn't take any time and started implementing it as soon as possible in 2017. And that's when I decided to start my YouTube channel. So I just started my YouTube channel. I literally put up a video that was basically trying to teach people how to do what I was doing. And all of a sudden it got 1 million hits. And that's when I started to realize that, true successful people in the marketplace provide value. So that's where I got my start. It was a lot of trial and error. It was a lot of unhappy customers. It was a lot of unhappy people. It was a lot of doubt. It was a lot of learning. It was a lot of credit card debt. But eventually you persist, as you know, especially with your background, you eventually get through it. And, I'm proud to say where I am today.
That's so awesome. I love it. Okay. There's so many nuggets in there that I want to talk about. So you talked about persistence and providing value and unhappy customers and all those things. Like, I really see, and what stands out to me is your perseverance and your mindset around, like, I'll figure it out, and I'm bored in what I'm already doing, and I see an opportunity to do more.
Yeah.
The more entrepreneurs I talk to, the more I'm like, oh yeah, we get bored real easily.
Too fast.
Right? And we see the sky's the limit for all kinds of things that we can create in the world through providing value. And I think that some people have a tendency to kind of have that problem with shiny object syndrome, where they're like, oh, I could do 8 million things, but you really focused on a few, which you said SEO, Facebook ads, helping people in the digital world, because there's unlimited potential. in a lot of
Absolutely.
ways. Okay. So tell
Yeah.
us, so you're for that video that hit 1 million, what value were you providing there?
So at the time, are you familiar with like Ty Lopez?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So at the time, he was selling a program that taught how to do this.
Okay.
And I think that I was such an amateur on YouTube that people saw through my personality, and they said, wow, like this guy is legit. His video, like he's not trying to sell anything. You know, he doesn't have an agenda when he's posting this. He's actually trying to help me create a Facebook ad. So
Mm-hmm.
what I've noticed is, and keep in mind, like that Facebook ads video has brought in so much opportunity into my business, a lot
Yeah.
of interviews, a lot of things like that. But more importantly, it really got my core principles stuck, which is, you know, as long as you really want to provide value, people can see through people with agenda.
Yeah.
So after that video blew up, I kind of realized, okay, well, you know, Ty Lopez's videos aren't even doing this, and he has the best information possible. Well, what is it? And I realized it was because he had an agenda when he was making his content. So I think the reason why it blew up was people saw, you know, that I was very authentic with it. There was no like sales pitch. There was nothing to buy. And it was literally me showing a real life example of how I set up the ads. And I think that people followed along with that. I think they took notes. I think they, saved the video. YouTube loves that. And we're going to talk about engagement signals on how to get videos viral and everything. But ideally, if you can provide a value in the marketplace without an agenda, even if you have an agenda, there's good ways on hiding it. But even if you can provide that value in the marketplace, you're going to get a substantial amount of people that buy into your brand.
Yeah. But do me a favor, tell everyone, because I'm sure that's how I ran into you, right? It was that Facebook ad video, I would think.
Yeah, probably.
What's the title of that video? I have
I think
it
it's
saved
called.
in my notes, but
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
I totally saved it. And you're right. I took a ton of notes, and I've used it in my development of my Facebook ad that I haven't launched yet, but it's in the process. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. There's so many, it's so straightforward, and it is so value driven that it was like, this is awesome. It's like taking a little mini course on Facebook ads, all for free. Your teaching style is really like on par with, it's just on, it was easy to digest. And you give great examples, and it was like, oh, awesome. Yeah. So what is that one called? Do you know?
It's called How to Create a Facebook Ad.
Okay. How to create a Facebook ad. Straightforward. Okay. So I want to highlight for everyone listening here several things that you just highlighted, which is obviously providing value, being authentic, coming in with, as people are getting to know you online, I don't care what social media platform you're on, they want to know that you care about bringing them solutions, and often for free. There's a ton of information out there. And of course, all of us who are listening, if you're a business builder, you're thinking, okay, how can I get the word out there and grow my business digitally? Well, people want to know and trust you, and they want to see that you're reliable. So for me, I go, even though I only have 80 followers on Facebook, I have people all the time saying like, oh, I see that you consistently are there. And I know what you stand for. And you're constantly bringing us value every single week, right? So it's that piece of, and I care, and people know it, that authenticity really, really matters. And so when I then all of a sudden go, hey guys, I'm launching a program, they're like, cool, Amanda's been here the whole time. She's been here for us. She cares, and she's an expert because I've shown up repeatedly. So I think that I love that you highlight that. So powerful. So everyone check out his video for sure. If you think you want to do Facebook ads, check that video out. It's really, really helpful. Tell us, you said you used the term engagement signals. So just share with us the strategy for you where you launched that video and had such wide viewer. I think it sounds like the engagement signals that you're going to share, you'll let us know, but it's like definitely getting liked and watching all the way through and all those things. So can you share with us some of those strategies and signals?
That's my favorite topic, is strategy.
Awesome.
So, one of the core things that was starting to happen with that video, and it's not just that video, I posted more that have gotten hits like that. But the core thing is like, if you're publishing information online, the first question I always ask, is this information that people are dying for? And then once I really answer that question, and I'm like, okay, like, look, somebody needs to learn Facebook ads and they don't have the money to pay for an online course, even though Facebook offer ones for free, by the way. And is it shareable? Will people share it? Because if people aren't going to share it, YouTube's engagement signal, the primary reason why they make videos viral is because I'm in bed at night and I go, hey, to my girlfriend, you need to watch this video, and I share the link. So if you can create something that's share worthy, it's going to go viral. And that only comes with value. So there's a few engagement signals that you really need to look at when you're doing YouTube. And one is obviously the watch time. You know, if you have this really boring approach, you know, that's not going to work. I always recommend for people to go for infotainment, which is giving information as much as possible, but also saying like little jokes. Like, I know some people, like, they always remember Justin's coffee shop in my video. And I don't know why that was so funny, but it was a good name. And it was just an example that I was using. But infotainment, to where you can become funny and also teach some very valuable information that people are willing to die for. Well, because it has entertainment in it, they're going to share it. So now that you've got the info part down, you want to be a little funny and you want to crack some jokes so people can share it. But funny enough, you know, if the video goes viral in person, meaning like people physically want to share it, it's going to go viral online. And the key benefit, the key thing is I've had universities embed that video onto their digital marketing classes. So the fact that someone from a university would want to do something like that is a clear indicator to YouTube that that video needs to be seen by everybody. So if you're doing any type of digital marketing right now for any type of business builder, and you're using Facebook, Instagram, this and this and this and this, YouTube is the best algorithm somebody can ask for. Because when you publish a video, although you know you have 80 subscribers, like followers, that stuff compounds once you hit a viral video. Yeah. Because what happens is when somebody logs into YouTube, even if you've never heard of me, YouTube's going to promote my video for you to watch based on what you've watched before. Yeah. And once you can get to that recommended level to where YouTube's promoting your videos to other people, and it's not just search, because if you type in how to create a Facebook ad, sure, I'm going to get 20% of my traffic there, but 80% is sharing, and YouTube shares it for you once they see people sharing it. So the way you're going about it is super critical, because when you build this loyal fan base, well, they're going to share your stuff forever. Yeah. So literally it becomes a, like you said, it becomes a showing up game, because eventually you show up, maybe you get 5 people watching you. Well, those same 5 people are going to watch you again. And then it just compounds. Yeah. So that video, for 6 months, it had like 300 views. And then all of a sudden, like for some reason, it took time for it to start getting viral. And I think that's because people were sharing it and other people were charging for what I was giving for free. Yeah. Neil Patel uses a very similar strategy. And that's kind of where I learned it from. I've been watching his stuff for a very long time. Yeah. So the engagement signals there is the first engagement signal you should ever look at for any piece of content that you're creating online is this actually going to benefit the person watching it? Yeah.
That's great. These are great tips, everyone. And I love the applicability across platforms. Like, this doesn't just go for YouTube, right? It's like exactly. On Instagram. Is this info people are dying for? Are they going to share it? Are they going to comment? Are they going to engage? You know, what are you bringing? How are you bringing value? And, you know, I have to say, it's really funny in the branding marketing world. It's taken me I feel like significant time to figure out the ropes, and I'm still figuring it out. You know, it's like, I came from academia, and going from academia into like marketing language, totally different worlds. And, you know, teaching an hour and 15-minute lecture to 100 students versus teaching a 10-minute video to a video camera. Like,
a lot different.
Oh my God, it's crazy. And the first video I did was hilarious. You know, it was like 25 takes just to say like, hi, and this and that. And then I figured out, oh, don't introduce yourself first, give a hook question, like all of those little tips that you learn over time. And I want to say to everyone listening, just practice, get started. Don't freak out about all the perfectionist pieces. Get yourself out there and be consistent, and you'll figure it out as you go. And I like that you shared that, you know, for quite a while you had only had 300 views on that. And then someone somewhere shared it to the right person, and then it went viral. And I want to ask you, do you think that it's a realistic expectation for something to go viral?
I think it is. I think if you're in a vertical or a business space to where there's information that people don't want to share because they feel like they're going to lose money. And I'll give you an example. I'm in the SEO niche. So search engine optimization is getting keywords ranked on Google. And for some reason in this industry, people hide. And I don't know why, but people hide the way they do things. So I just give it all out. So I think that anybody can go viral by just letting it out, you know, and that's why emotion and videos of people crying and like these wonderful things of like the dogs coming home to the vets, those things go viral because there's emotion attached to it. So when you let yourself out, although some people may think it's a sign of weakness, don't ever trust those people. If they think it's a sign of weakness, their mentality is just way lower than yours.
Yeah.
If you can show emotion, and if you can become vulnerable, and if you can become the person that people can relate to, anything can go viral.
Yeah. 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 So it's kind of that perfect ingredient formula where you go, be authentic, share value. Is it something people are dying for? Does it evoke emotion? You know, like I don't know why it's so hard to remember, like, is this a video that I would want to watch? Like when you're creating content, think about it from the viewer's perspective. Is this something I would want to engage in? And why would I want to download this? Or why would I want to share this? You know, and think about it from that perspective. Always shine the light on your customers and clients and audience and tribe, and think like, where are they coming from? What's their pain point today? How do they want to connect with me? And it's such a powerful place to just start from, and then get out of your own way and just share the value.
Absolutely. And that's one of the biggest things. Like before I ever publish a video, I always ask myself, just like you said, is this something I'd want to watch? And have I made something like this before? Because it's easy to be repetitive and, you know, just try to have an agenda. So I try to just not have an agenda, which sucks at times. I kind of talked to you about that sacrifice. But it is what it is. It got me to where I am, and I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, I do want to go there a little bit. I want to pick your brain about, I mean, because obviously we're all business owners, business builders, wanting to monetize our content. Do you have any tips on that part? Like, what do you do when you get a viral video, and how do you monetize YouTube?
Yeah, so right now YouTube pays me personally about $4,500 a month from views from AdSense. And I'm being transparent.
Wow, thanks for the transparency. That's rare. That's awesome.
Well, you see channels with like 700,000 subscribers, and like you can only imagine how much they're making, right?
Yeah.
So in my eyes, I would rather have, because our business, we do client services for local business. We don't do like any online businesses or e-commerce. So we do like lawyers, dentists, gyms, things like that. So in my eyes, if I can get my video seen by more people, I'm going to get it monetized through our actual company, DeveloMark, not Ruan Marinho on his YouTube channel. So I would heavily recommend to not try to monetize in the beginning, and people will see that. And then eventually, once you build up that loyal fan base and you have your core principles, you have your pillars of success, you have your business builder strategies, then you kind of say, okay, for those who want to take it to the next step, here's a program that I'm announcing. And I found that to be super successful. And my problem that I made is I came out with something too early, and it had some really negative effects with my audience. In the case of somebody who was watching me and I was claiming to be an expert at something, and they didn't like how long I've been doing it. So they started to bash me online. They started to leave negative reviews. And people do this. People watch you that you may not think watch you. It's actually kind of scary. Like one time I had a YouTube comment, and it was somebody who was like very successful. And I was like, oh my God, like they watch my channel. People watch the internet. So, you know, you gotta be careful to not piss off your audience. But if you're a person that's providing value and there's a service and people are asking for it, I definitely think you should recommend creating some type of monetization. But I always recommend, if you're starting a YouTube channel, to not monetize on your YouTube videos. Don't put the links in the YouTube videos. Make them search for it. Now, let me tell you why that's such a key strategy. Because when somebody goes on YouTube and they watch my videos, they don't see a link to buy anything, right? But what they do is they're always going to do this. Doesn't matter how big of a YouTube you're, they're always going to search your name in Google. And not only does that help your SEO for obvious reasons, people are clicking through, but it also allows you to keep your goodwill with your audience. And for those who are very serious, they search. And that's where you get them to buy your stuff. It's
like, it's the filter of who's serious anyway. Because if you said, let's say you said, oh, I have this new program, you know, check it out. If they're really serious, they're going to search you on Google.
They will search you. They will call you. They will email you. And I've just figured, like, my monetization strategy is I'll get a bunch of people on an email list after they search me, and I'll only announce my personal courses or anything like that through that email list. So I'm not losing brand value on my YouTube videos, because people do tend to watch longer when they go, wow, this guy doesn't even have a course, you know? And they're looking at it and they're like, oh my God, like, do you have a course? Do you have a course? it creates that value that kind of,
yeah.
once they search for it, then they're happy.
Yeah, I like that you're saying that. And I've heard the strategy too of kind of like for every, do 3 videos. And then on the 4th one, it's okay to like drop, oh, hey, I have a course, and then do 3 more videos. That rule, some people call it the 80-20 rule, or the 3-1 or whatever, but it's thinking about like, if you're selling at your people all the time, you're going to lose your audience, understandably, because no one wants that.
No,
yeah.
It's there's, with the digital ads that are out today, you get pitched every time you log into Instagram. You get pitched every time you log into Facebook. Yeah. And since you're in that entrepreneur space, you can see how many ads of people promising the secret to getting clients, the secret to doing ads, this and this and this. So people are bogged down by it. So I kind of hit the market at a weird time, and you are too, to where people are losing trust in everything they see online. But when they search on YouTube, you're seen as the trusted advisor. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you have all those value-based videos that are just instructional and helping people succeed in whatever area of your expertise. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I like that you're saying you don't monetize too soon. I think when you get on any new social media platform, I think it's about understanding the platform itself, why people are coming to that platform, and then just building your brand over time, and not coming at it of like, oh, I'm going to become viral on YouTube as fast as possible so I can monetize. That alone negates the idea of bringing value.
Yeah, and people will see that in you if you try to do that.
Yeah. And I just don't think it works. I mean, if you look at YouTube, it's the 2nd largest search engine, right? So it's not like it's that easy to get discovered through just going on and thinking you're gonna have a brilliant idea and stand out in some way. It's about time and energy and consistency and bringing value. I mean, really, that's what it's about.
Yeah, you're literally the turtle. You're going very slow, but it pays off. Yes. Because I don't pay a penny for any of those views. Yeah. So they're all organic, which is amazing. And you got to think about it this way, right? Have you ever been to like a BJ's or a Costco, and you have like a Comcast salesperson trying to sell you something? Yeah. You're not in the right frame of mind to buy Comcast. So you're like, no, like, get away from me, right? Yeah. But when somebody needs internet, what do? They search. So our business is solely focused on getting the customer when they're in the right frame of mind. And I've been able to do the same thing with our YouTube channel. Yeah. I love that. That's such a good analogy. And of course, when you're at Costco and they're giving the food samples, you're like, oh yeah, I want to buy all that, because you're in that frame of mind. You're always frame of mind for food. Yeah, always.
That's awesome. There are so many gems here. Another thing that you just highlighted, that kind of turtle philosophy where it's just steady daily growth, and thinking about your business building adventures like this is a long-term trajectory. I'm not here for like the one-hit wonder, or to just, pop in, and who really cares about being viral unless it's actually that you're bringing value and building your business from it, right? A win-win situation. Yeah. So it's that mentality, sometimes, of course, when you're starting a business, you get a little discouraged, especially when you're new and it's hard to make a video. You're like, oh, this is also new and it takes a lot of time. And then I get like 1 view. You're like, crap. And you're like, celebrate yourself because you affected the one person's life. And that's awesome. Right. And that one person can turn into 1 million. You never know, because you don't know who that one person is. And so it's just staying in the game with that mindset of like, awesome, I'm bringing at least one person value. Maybe no one watches it. That's okay too, because you practiced teaching from a value-based perspective and you'll get better and better. So, for anyone listening, if you're out there and you already have a YouTube channel and it's kind of crickets, stay in the game and just make some pivots based on the information today, and think about how you can, share info that people are dying for and info that people will want to share it with. And, listening to both of us in this, obviously Ruan has a much more successful in terms of numbers right now YouTube channel than I do. And that's okay. Like, he's an expert in that area. He's building it. He's growing. He's learning. I'm doing the same. I'm behind, and you might be even behind that, but we've both stayed in the game, and that's how we've gotten there. Right. Mm-hmm. And so just remember, I always like on this podcast to bring encouragement and inspiration for you, because building a business is no joke. You really have to have the mindset of, okay, I'm in it for the long haul. So tell us, like, what would you say has been a big challenge for you in your business building adventures?
Changing who I am has been the biggest challenge. Like, nice. So, and I still have challenges with this every single day. And I really feel like the success of your business starts with you. And, from the inner comes the outer. And what I started doing was, when I started my business, I had all of these old habits that, you know, I just couldn't keep along, like hanging out with friends, going to the bar, going to the club, those typical things that happen in your 20s. And the moment I changed for myself and I started focusing on self-development, my business started to change. And when you change yourself, you know, you have to be able to change yourself to change other people. So in leadership, which we manage 12 staff here at DeveloMark. So the leadership, it starts with me. So if I'm going to the club, if I'm going to the bar, if I'm gaining overweight, if I'm doing this and this and this, well, what do I expect of my staff? They're going to do the same thing. Monkey see, monkey do. So the hardest part was changing myself. But once you figure that out, once you understand how to change yourself and you understand who you are and you have a self-realization, and the way I did this was I literally just had people tell me what they think of me and what I do best and what I do wrong, my parents included and my girlfriend. Then eventually I kind of knew what I had to change. And there's a lot of signs in life of the things that you have to change to become a better person. But the most successful people in the world, they're optimized robots. And they're disciplined. They say no to a lot of things. It's very hard to say no when you have, you know, low self-discipline. They say yes to every opportunity possible, and it just gets them into trouble. And they lie to people, and they take forever to respond. You know, there's just these little habits that you've got to stop doing and change for the better. One thing that I will say is if you can identify the keystone habits in your personality, such as smoking cigarettes, right? And when a keystone habit gets broken, dozens of other habits get broken. So once you stop smoking cigarettes, well, now you don't smell anymore. So you have that freedom of being able to go wherever you want and having people not criticize you. Your lungs get back in health, right? So there's all these little habits that you have that may be keystone habits. For me, it was eating a lot. Like, I love eating food. And I think everybody can agree we're all humans. So I just had to cut that back and stop focusing on the food and all this. Now my mind is clear. Now my body is nice, you know, and I just feel more energy. So it's very critical that you identify those keystone habits and change as a person while you're doing your business. You can still do it as you are now, but once you start really starting to grow a business, especially when you have staff, that's when you have to start changing as a person. It's the hardest work to do. Sounds easy in theory, but it is one of the hardest things to do. And as long as you can dial that in and become that disciplined person, you're going to be the most successful business person in your area.
Yeah, I love that. This is great. Eddie, did you read, Keystone Habits from Charles Duhigg and The Power of Habit? Did you read
that? I have not read that.
Oh,
no.
Interesting. Okay. So that's who coined, I bet it's been said before, but it's a great book. It's called The Power of Habit, and it's by Charles Duhigg. And he talks exactly about keystone habits and how when you when you let go of a habit that's really holding you back in one area, it will have a domino effect, just like you're saying.
Yes.
And it's a really powerful strategy for shifting a lot in your life, and for a lot of people, it is things like smoking or drinking or not exercising or things like that. And once you shift that one, then all of these other habits fall into place that lead you to be a better leader, more disciplined, more awake, more aware, more conscious, and more successful. So I love that. That's so great that you said that. And I love the term optimized robots. That's what
they are.
Good, right?
That's what they are. Like, they have a mission and they stick to it.
Yes. So it's funny because, like, my business is called NFA Coaching, no fucking around coaching. And I'm like so serious about optimization. And people will often ask me, like, how are you so successful in this and this and that? And I'm like, it's habits. And that's why this is called Max Potential Habits. I go, and it's not that I think you ever max your potential. It's that you learn, it's a process, it's a journey, and you just keep working towards optimization. And it's all in your habits, right? Like, those repeated things that we do daily are our measure of success. And what you're talking about, I was thinking about how it's related to either leading a team or leading a family or leading a small company or even your tribe of people that follow you. It's, you have to be the model and embody those qualities and those traits in order to be a strong leader who people want to follow, right? So that was awesome. That was amazing. Okay, what would you say are the top 3 max potential habits that you have implemented to get where you are today?
Okay, so number one,
I'm gonna ask you 2 sets. I'm gonna ask you for you as a person, and then for people who want to develop a YouTube channel that's successful, what would the top 3 habits be there as well?
Okay, I'm gonna start with YouTube.
Okay, cool.
One is you don't need to show your face. So a lot of people have this idea that you have to record your face on YouTube channels, and if it's gonna create the habit of you producing content, don't show your face. my first video, the Facebook ads one, my face was nowhere near it. I didn't want to show my face. I was scared. So what I did was I just screen recorded me talking, kind of like a podcast, kind of like a video tutorial. And it kind of got me more comfortable. My first few videos were like that. Then eventually I showed my face. So go at it, you know, whether it's not showing your face or whatever it is that's holding you back, just take that out of the equation and see if you can do it. Then the second habit is really find out your purpose, your belief, and your core principles. Because the last thing that you want to do is you want to build the habits of really knowing what your mission is in the world. And if your mission is to give back to endangered species, well, make YouTube videos to complement those beliefs in that core system. And the reason for that is because things change as you get older, and as things happen, that, you know, all of a sudden you believe in different things. So you want to really know what to stick to and build the habit of reinforcing those beliefs and just sticking to it. Kind of like what you said, the domino effect, and those keystone habits will get you to, you know, your core belief, and exercising that muscle as much as possible. And then the third habit is learn technical. You know, if you don't know technical stuff like uploading a video, optimizing the keywords, adding the tags, I'm going to tell you your competitor does. So I spend a lot of my time learning some of these little technical things. And it's not because it's the most important thing. The content's what's most important. But you should know how to design a thumbnail. You should know how to do a text. You should know how to optimize titles. Read books on how to make better titles, because that stuff goes a long way. If you ever go on Facebook, you always see these clickbait ads that people are sharing, right? Like big pharma CEO says, screw the public, let's satisfy the shareholders. Those types of titles that get clicks. Even though it may not be true, it's still getting the click. That place is still getting the attention. So, and then as a person, you know, the three biggest habits are, one is reading. I can tell you're a huge reader. I see a bunch of books in the background. And it's one of those habits to where I spend like 15 minutes a day on. But I swear to God, every time I read, I have something revolutionary to bring to work. And one of those things is the concept of MACJ, which is the madman, architect, carpenter, and judge. And basically it's a project management philosophy that Harvard uses. And I would have never learned that if I didn't pick up a book. These people that are writing these books are too busy to be Gary Vee, right? These are real impactful billionaires writing. So you need to read it. If you want, that's what your goal wants to be. You need to read what these people are doing. So that's the number one habit. If you don't like reading, you're not going to be successful. I firmly believe that. And then the second one is start building the habit of bettering your relationships in person. So you talked a lot about relationships in the beginning, and you talked about kind of that's what a lot of your podcast is about. And if you can't build a relationship with yourself, like I said before, you're not going to be able to build a relationship with people. So get better at communicating with the people that you love as soon as possible. Get better at, you know, instead of listening to music in the morning, call somebody that you love and talk to them in the morning. It's going to make that much of an impact in your life, because when you leave work, it's all about your personal relationships. And sometimes you need time for that. So I've really focused on getting better at personal relationships, that habit, and it translated in business too. We keep clients for 18 months since we've started. We've had our first client since we've started hanging out with us. And that's because we've strictly focused on keeping those relationships. And then the third habit I would say is really start to hang out with people in an environment of people that you like, and reinforce your beliefs and your core principles and have a vision just like you do. Because the people that don't have that vision, I'm sure you know, they're not going to be on the same page as you, and it's going to become frustrating if you're trying to change yourself. So when you're trying to change yourself, hang out with people that are trying to change themselves as well. Go for the better goal, because the people that aren't changing, not only are you not going to change, because you're going to see their contentment and you're going to say, okay, that's, you know, it's okay to be like this. It's okay to sit on this couch and just drink Budweiser. It's okay to do that. It's okay to watch the Sunday game football team instead of making videos, right? So get yourself in that environment, get in the habit of building new friends, and that comes with relationships.
Powerful. Okay. So for whoever was listening, you're going to want to rewind for about the last 5 minutes and listen to all of that again. Really, really powerful. And I mean, I so agree with all of the things you're saying. I want to highlight on number one on the YouTube. I love how basically you're taking out the challenge and the limitation of people doing videos. So I think a lot of people get afraid of video because they're like, oh, I've got to be poised on camera and look great and say all the right, do all this stuff, right? But it's like, so remove the obstacles and say, how can I create a YouTube channel? You know, like, and you're so right. What you did was actually incredible, and it was so easy to follow. You weren't even on the screen at all. So really, really great. And of course, daily reading, you know, like, yes, you can see I have thousands of books and I love reading, and I so agree. And if you don't love to sit and read, get Audible, you know, download an app to listen to books. But I think daily ingestion of new knowledge and new information keeps you on your game, keeps you learning all of the latest and greatest. And if you don't know something, learn it, YouTube it, right? Like,
Right.
I mean, there is a YouTube video about pretty much everything. I mean,
Yeah.
really. So if you don't use those excuses, if you're like, oh, I want to start a YouTube channel, but I'm really scared, listen to this podcast again and again. Go look at Ruan's YouTube channel. Type into YouTube how to start a YouTube channel and watch every video you possibly can. Don't use those excuses, because you can do it. I've done it. Ruan's done it. Lots of people have done it. And just take action in the direction of your dreams. I know a lot of people are going to want to find you. So where can they find you? What should they type into YouTube to find you?
If you just type into YouTube RUAN, and then you'll find me pretty easily.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I'm most active on LinkedIn. So if you've noticed, I respond very fast on LinkedIn because I'm usually on it, just with connections and stuff like that.
Cool.
That's always best. So YouTube and then LinkedIn.
Okay. And for everyone listening, of course, I'll have his links in the show notes. So website, link to YouTube, and link to LinkedIn. So those will all be there. Thank you so much. This has been absolutely informative and incredible. I can't wait to see where you go in the next 5 years. Really cool. And for all the rest of you, thanks for being here. If you're loving what you're listening to, send out a screenshot with the hashtag NFA coaching. Send it to your social media channels to share it with your friends. Help spread the word so we can keep bringing value. And I will be back next week. I hope you have an incredible week where you thrive and feel alive.